have your life history, and in your life history it says, Mother told Ishwara that she wanted to realize the Absolute. Ishwara replied that when she was ready for it, mind would disappear and she would indeed realize herself as the formless Absolute Being. Does this mean Monanasa? Does this mean Monanasa? Means the mind is gone? That in the moment of realizing the Absolute Being, your mind is completely gone.
Yes.
There are no thoughts arising. And then a little later you talk that the level of consciousness descended finally into the heart, the source of all.
Yes.
Could you explain what you mean by the heart?
Heart is here.
Yes.
This one.
Because Ramana Maharshi, he talked about the right side of the heart as the resting place.
Yes.
Is that also your experience?
Yeah, of course.
And when this happened, it was a profound experience, something, I can't explain the word, but how do you know that this energy is coming to the heart?
You feel it. You feel it. You see, there are 6 chakras. It is in the Yoga Shastra. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura, and you see, then Agna Chakra and Sahasrara. From here, there descends the energy also. It has the energy descends again into the heart. Yeah. And a lotus opens them, you see it's very brilliant light in it. Then that's not the end. You must, after that the mind must merge into the light.
And see, after the energy comes to the heart, then after that the mind merges into that light.
Yes, it emerges into the heart. It is called Anahata. Yeah. Then there will be vibrations. You see, vibrations of light and sound. It is called Omkara.
And this was your own experience at that time. And then you say here that 20 years later, that Ishwara appeared 20 years later and said, now 7 veils are going to unfold. And then you saw, with your inner eye, you saw 7 subtle layers unfold within. And you heard a voice say, I am dead. And the world receded to the outer fringe of vast and unlimited space of consciousness.
Until then I was in a state of bliss. Even the bliss disappears. And there's no one to experience, you see, the bliss. So the 7 folds, they themselves You see. Then you see, they unfolded like that. After that, I just felt, but I couldn't see any.
Because I think my question is that you had this first experience, very strong experience of the energy going to your heart and your mind merging, and then the mind is dead. So my question is, who is to experience the seven veils?
You see, you just see them as a witness. You don't feel, you just feel them. And Isara then said, I'm going to keep some force within you, otherwise you will be dead. So, after 20 years I had the experience, and it was 7 veils.
But you were saying also yesterday that you still have thoughts, because you need some thoughts to move your body, to eat.
I use them for my purposes, for my use.
Yes. Yeah.
That means that they don't appear like your thoughts. They are subtle like clouds in the sky.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
Huh?
I couldn't hear what you said.
It's just like clouds in the sky.
Yes.
They are not, you say, so they don't attach me to anything.
Right. Yeah. I think I understand that. In my own case, I still have thoughts arising, but I don't get caught up in those thoughts. So I would also describe the thoughts in my mind as clouds in the blue sky.
Yes.
I don't catch those thoughts. Some thoughts come, but I'm not getting caught up in those thoughts.
But here there are no thoughts at all.
Right.
You see, only at that state I had. At that stage. And now I don't have them.
And this was
automatically everything comes to me.
So this was after 20 years the change?
Yes. After that, nothing.
Nothing. So the way you're describing this is as if there is a self-realizing and then later there is an enlightenment. Two different stages. Is that what you're saying? That there are 2 stages?
2 stages? It is not 2 stages. Aisha told me that I am keeping the falls within you. Otherwise you will be dead. They are unfolded. So I had to wait till you see, till 20 years, or 20 years after it happened.
Because I think my understanding was that when the energy comes to the heart, that is the final resting place. Then one is one with the self. There's no separation between.
Yes, he said you'll be dead if this happens. And the holes are, you see, unfolded. So I'm keeping them. So I had to wait 20 years for this to happen. After that, nothing.
I see. Right. So you say it happened after 20 years, but was there some kind of gradual dissolving during those 20 years?
Yes, of course. Of course. And I was always in bliss. Even that disappears. Even that disappears. There is no mind to go because the bliss even to experience it.
You see, in my own experience, my own case, I had a guru, Punjaji, and 10 years ago I met him, and shortly after I had some strong awakening, strong opening, some strong energy phenomena happened in his presence. And then in the weeks after that, my inner life changed, and I had no more questions. Until that moment, for 20 years I had been a strong seeker, looking for this truth. And in that moment, from one moment to the next moment, it changed. And I was feeling relaxation, I was feeling no question, I was feeling bliss and peace, stillness. And this has continued now for 10 years since that time. No question arose, and no doubt arose. Of course, sometimes the mind is playing something. And over this 10 years, I can describe a kind of dissolving. So, for example, now there are few thoughts that disturb, very few. Day by day, there's a lot of stillness, a lot of peace, and just a few thoughts. Maybe 6 years ago, there was still some thoughts, so there is a sense of dissolving, some dissolving. Could you say something about that?
I can't say anything about other people's experiences. They have various experiences. They may not be, you see, similar to mine. Bhagavan realized in 1 hour.
This is why it's very interesting to talk to you, because your experience is your experience and my experience is my experience.
Yes.
But at some point there's very few people to talk to. So I don't know what is happening. I can experience some dissolving. I can experience no questions and stillness and a kind of peace. Not many problems in my life. Not the big problems anymore. A kind of surrender to life. But I don't really know. I don't really know what is this. When I asked you yesterday, who are you? You said, I don't know.
Of course.
This is very honest answer.
So it is time for food.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking again. Thank you.